What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again. And a little bit of forewarning before we get going into this, guys. I am sick again. I got another cold. One of the bad things about working with so many different people and all the different germs and handling money all the time and stuff is it's really easy to get sick a lot because there's a lot of germs and disgusting stuff that gets passed around. But today I've got some Halo Wars 2 beta footage for you guys. I didn't get to play a lot of the beta, unfortunately, because of work. But I did get some... Well, I got this recorded. I was supposed to have about 3 or 4 matches recorded. And like a noob, I hit preview and forgot to change it to full recording. So when I was looking over my side screen, it looked like it was recording. And it wasn't. I haven't watched this match back yet, so I can't remember which one this was that I actually recorded, because I had a few matches, and some of them went well, and like 1 or 2 didn't. This was probably, I think, my 3rd game with this guy, though, is what I want to say, and he was pretty good. I don't think he's on my friends list or anything at this point, but yeah, we played together here for a while, and we had some pretty good games. And I want to say this is the match where the old Misty and my partner both left. The old Misty quit out, I think, and then Dark Angel just kind of disappeared for a while there. Which is why I'm recording this after the fact instead of just going with what I was talking about in-game, because there wasn't a lot of talking in-game. There wasn't me giving out my thoughts a lot. And the reason for that is that... The other people in the game could hear me, so for the sake of recording, I didn't talk a whole lot. You know, I was communicating with my teammate and stuff, but because he wasn't here through part of this, or he wasn't responding for a while, I just, I didn't say anything. So it doesn't really make for good audio or necessarily compelling video. So I'm just going to go back and record over it. Hopefully I don't lose my voice. If I can't talk anymore, or something happens here, my voice just totally goes because it's ready to, I'll give you guys forewarning in the video, and then you can expect a couple day gap before my next video comes out, because I gotta try to record a couple more videos tonight to get ready for the new work week, so I have the videos ready for editing or release or whichever happens here. Even though I didn't get to play a lot, I tried a few different strategies, and they work to varying degrees of success, but, generally I was finding that my wins prior to this were coming from not so much a degree of skill on my part, but a lack of skill on the other people's part. I'm not a very good RTS player. I enjoy playing them. Obviously, I play a lot of Emergency 4, Emergency 2016, 2015. I've played Command & Conquer and stuff, so I played a lot of RTSs over the years, but I've never been generally good at them. I do have a friend, however. We will simply call him Bounce, because his full name's not appropriate for YouTube. He helped me out with strategy. Me and him play a lot of Halo Wars 1 together. He was a general on there. He helped me get my general up too on there, and he's the type of individual that when it comes to RTS games, people see his name and just tend to quit out. I've seen it happen several times, and he kind of helped me with this infantry rush strategy. I think I kind of screwed it up during this match. Oh, shoot. Well, that probably was really loud and obnoxious for you guys, whatever email I just got. Oh, I just got World of Warships email. How exciting. I don't really care. Anyways, I think I kind of botched my infantry rush up here. There's a very specific build order he was kind of helping me with to kind of maximize the amount of resources I get early game, so that I can get more infantry out and kind of control the map a little bit better. My phone really just vibrated again. All of a sudden, I'm like really busy as soon as I start to record. But, yeah, basically the idea here is that, I get money going really early so that I can kind of build up my generators really fast to a higher degree. Because the generators are the big thing in Halo Wars, I've noticed, is that early game research points are difficult, and then late game you want more supply pads. and it's kind of a pain because obviously, you know, later on down the road you can always just sell your research, wind farms, solar farms, or I guess they're wind turbines or whatever. But so you could just sell those and get more supply pads or something. But it's not necessarily efficient because you're putting all that money into the energy. I keep wanting to call it research. I don't know why I want to call it research. I guess because you apply it to research, but you apply it to like building units and stuff too. So maybe this wasn't the game where my teammate was going, or he just wasn't talking or something. Maybe. As you guys can see, he's actually got his infantry out faster than I do, but all of his infantry are just kind of clustered together. I've kind of spread my guys out, and I'm already expanding to like forward bases, like ahead by the enemy and stuff. And so that's kind of the big reason you see him coming out ahead, all grouped up together. Unfortunately for me, because my guys are all split up like that, the blue team did manage to take that, me and my friend call it hooks. I mean, they're extra energy points, former energy bases, or whatever you want to call them. They actually have a name. If I hover over it, I can remember. But me and my friend call them hooks. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to call them a hook. You can see they managed to push me out of there pretty easy. My Marines were already injured prior to that, and the second squad basically overtook me. So he's going to push up, and he's going to push on that hook. And, they've got that side base captured there too. So he's going to try to take that out. I've got my forward base started here. My goal with that base is to essentially stop them from expanding, because that's a big thing with RTSs, is it's important to aggressively expand, but at the same time, if you let your enemy expand while you're expanding, then it defeats the purpose. So I'm trying to get as forward as possible to take out that base from them, and to be able to hold it for myself, and even stop advances on that left flank of the map, so they can't sneak around behind me. Get some guns and stuff set up on that base is my ultimate goal with it. Now, as you can see, we haven't had a whole lot of contact with the enemy, just the initial scrimmage around the hook. My teammate ended up not taking the hook or the base. He just kind of ran past him. And, the enemy infantry are gone to parts unknown. I should have checked that base there, that forward base. Looking back on it, that was a mistake, not just scouting that out real quick with one of my infantry squads, but, this was recorded, weeks and weeks ago, so what are you going to do? So, we got third squad moving up there, continuing research. We've neutralized the hook. We haven't taken it yet, but we've neutralized it. We've got the squad sitting around doing nothing, so we're going to have them go up there and just kind of reinforce the squads that are already up there. We should have, once again, probably taken them up to that forward base, made sure that was secure, or even tried to push all the way up to that left mini base, just under the light blue guy. So he should be able to see that base now. So, it's still clear, thankfully, but that could have been really bad. And because we haven't really done anything with this middle base yet, he's managed to build up advanced generators and stuff. So we let him get some pretty easy resources off of that. But given that I still haven't seen any of the other guys, I do want to say this is the one in which his partner disappeared. And all of a sudden I'm not seeing my teammate's infantry moving, so maybe it was the match that my teammate disappeared to. I can't really tell. I'm trying to look at this right base, this right mini base. He might have some units capturing it or something. But I'm not seeing a lot of movement from my teammate either. So they've got Warhogs and stuff inbound, and he's got flamethrower units. The flamethrower units are the big one I'm worried about. The Warhog's dangerous, but the flamethrower is obviously designed specifically as anti-infantry. I've already upgraded rockets on my infantry, though, so his Warhawk's going to get out of there. Yeah, he's going sniper, so he's going pretty heavy anti-infantry as it is. So I've got to try to neutralize a sniper here before he becomes too much of a pain. Unfortunately, he does manage to cloak here. Oh, keep cloaking before I can before I could get a shot or anything off on him or be too effective. So I'll try to throw some grenades at him here. Unfortunately, my first squad didn't want to do that. I don't know why they're not shooting at him, but yeah. Finally got him. It was a pretty heavy cost and it allowed them to get another squad of Marines in. So he did a lot of damage to me. My teammates... Yeah, my teammate had to be AFK. That's gotta be what happened. So I'm going to try to move my squads up here and at least get the one garrisoned so he can try to do some damage here. More than he would be able to do otherwise. Because obviously at that point he is dead. It does look like light blue was there actually. So I stand corrected. So... I'm not sure what my teammate's doing. Yeah, obviously you can see that his infantry aren't moving. He's not doing a whole lot at this point. So, like I said, I'm still trying to remember. I don't remember. I do know that there was a point, though, when it was essentially 1v2, but my teammate disappeared too, so it ended up being 1v1. Obviously, my Marines have gotten annihilated. I think I still go forward with basically heavy infantry. Oh, there's my teammate. He's back now. His infantry are all starting to move and stuff. I maintain the heavy infantry presence just because they're pretty quick to field them. Pretty easy to. I'm going to take this forward base here. Try to get more resources and also kind of make sure they don't end up taking that, getting a forward foothold. My squads are splitting up, though. And I think my goal becomes to take that hook again. Yeah, obviously I just directed them to that. So I'm going to upgrade my infantry here. You know, like I said, I'm sticking with the infantry. That might have been a foolish mistake, but so far he only used one flamethrower unit and one sniper. And while I have used infantry, he might be expecting that still. I decide that the risk is probably worth it. He's got some guys. They're not garrisoned yet, but I've got my turrets built here, and he's got infantry up there that are just going to get murdered by these turrets on the base. Interesting fact I didn't know is you can upgrade the standard turrets. You can't upgrade any other turrets, but you can upgrade the standard ones. So, he's got snipers and flamethrower infantry are now hitting me, so... Even though the blue guy wasn't really geared towards being able to take me, light blue is. And you can see dark blue has amassed a pretty sizable force based off the mini-map. He's engaging my red teammate, but can't really see what else is going on up there. They've garrisoned those forces, but, you know, the turrets are making short work of them. You know, they're not going to do a lot of damage. They do a little bit, but... I mean, at that point, they're dead no matter what. Go ahead, upgrade my infantry some more. I think, what else do I do? I guess I didn't do anything there. I was thinking at some point here I upgrade the pop cap or something. So, you can see they're putting a push on this base pretty hard. They're going to take out that turret, but I've got guys actually locked in here already to go, or I will in a minute. I do have the siege turret. The siege turrets should put in some work here. Yeah, so that siege turret's awesome. They can be a little risky to use if you don't have them positioned correctly. Obviously, if I put them up on the other side of the base where my regular turrets all were, they would have destroyed that siege turret without it doing anything. But because it's further out, it can just put in work on those guys. You can see the massive explosions it does. You know, it's hitting entire squads of guys. So I've countered their push here. And I decide, oh yeah, that's right. I forget infantry could heal, so that's right. I was going to recycle it and then replace it, but I decided to just keep it. Because I forgot infantry healed it. So that's going to get healed up. And I'm going to rebuild the other one here in a second. So... that kind of distracted me away from my other guys. You can see here, they haven't taken that fire base still, which is a huge mistake on their part. They really should have pushed to take that. That could have actually potentially been a huge boon for them early on. Why they did not push to take that is beyond me. I guess their idea was that they were going to get in there with all their flamethrower infantry or whatever they had and just wipe out all of our infantry. But the thing is that while they were effectively killing our guys, like I said, they couldn't really stop them. Another mistake I made here was obviously I took forever to get my command points. I had 4 command points before I actually spent them. I should have spent those a lot earlier on. That could have probably saved me a lot of trouble as far as my infantry and stuff go, because I could have, been working on like getting them veterancy and stuff earlier on. They could have actually survived some of the engagements that they died in if they had veterancy. So that was a mistake on my part. Unfortunately, not a whole lot I can do about it in hindsight. Now, this engagement I've got pretty much in the bag here. You can see they've got, their Hornets and everything, but the thing is, anti-air is, infantry make good anti-air. The Hornets aren't going to stand a chance against my infantry, and now that I've got my ODSTs and my Cyclopses here, I can take on heavier armor, more guys at once, especially vehicles. Those Cyclopses are actually very devastating against vehicles. They don't stand much of a chance. So we're going to go around and we're just going to start hammering their base. They did put in work on my Cyclops, but like I said, I've got my infantry here. They've got rockets. They've got machine guns. You can see how fast that Hornet's dying to my squads. Blue guy tried sending a healing unit. It was too little too late. So, yeah, you can see, you don't want to go just solely infantry. Having Cyclopses and stuff mixed in there is good. I mean, I guess you could count Cyclopses as infantry, because that's what the game counts them as. But you want to have those alternate units mixed in there. You want to have the counters to the vehicles and stuff, because you could see, well, the Warhogs and stuff might not have been the biggest impact. The biggest boon for them might have been their flamethrower units. The Warhogs still put in work for this like light blue guy, and even the darker blue guy. So now he's on the defensive, as you can see. He's not pushing anywhere else on the map that we can see. He's not pushing any of our bases or anything. He's, at this point, going, how do I stop all these guys from killing me? And you can see these infantry actually are putting in work on that Vulture. A lot of people say, oh, the Vulture sucks, or the Vulture is amazing. The Vulture is really good if you use it correctly. And that's the thing, as the first game, the Vultures were just devastating. They killed pretty much anything. In this, they are better balanced, because they are air unit. Infantry can take them out, because infantry are good against air units. That being said, if you have buildings or vehicles, Vultures can be really awesome, but if you have anti-air, if you have those infantry, you can take out Vultures without any issue. They might be a little bit weak just by that token. I mean, you can see how fast they died to a couple squads of Marines and ODST. But, it shouldn't be invincible either. Somebody shouldn't be able to just say, I'm going to build 15, Vultures, and that's how they win. So it's good to have those sorts of counters and balances in the game. It might just need to be tweaked a tad bit. So, whenever I get the opportunity, I'm going to drop in my Cyclopses and ODSTs here. They've got their turrets all ready to go. They're obviously waiting for me. I forget what I go with here. I probably go with the ODST squad drop when I get that capability. Sometimes I go with the Pelicans, but my favorite thing is always to go with the ODST squads. I wonder why, So we're going to drop that Cyclops in here, get a little bit more heavy firepower and anti-vehicle stuff like that. As you can see, the Marines are actually a little bit more effective against the building just because of their rocket launchers that they have. The ODSTs also have their demolition charges, so that's pretty good. On the other end here, I've got my snipers and stuff coming in. I'm pushing really hard on this back base. I'm trying to take pressure off from the blue guy. He's still got that forward base, and if he was smart, he might almost just deploy all of his units from there and try to push one of my bases or push my forward base or something, or even one of my back bases to try and get pressure off of this, but he didn't. He just tried charging all of his infantry in there, and it didn't work out for him. He got countered, all he had was pretty much air So he was, even though he had a lot of anti-infantry early on, and that would have probably saved him if he kept doing that. For whatever reason, he changed to air. I don't know why. Maybe he just didn't understand the counter system or how that kind of works. So he's given up that base. You know, obviously I wasn't quite in a position to destroy it just yet, but I did take it. I mean, look at that angry mob of men. You know, I got 3 snipers sitting there picking off all of his infantry as soon as they're coming out of that base. But just because I've got the advantage now doesn't mean I'm going to stop building or anything. You can see I continue production on standard infantry, continue with my upgrade path. I'm going to fortify my buildings just in case, because you never know what's going to change in the situation like this. There's still unknown elements on the map. He's destroyed this base. So he's pretty much out of the game at this point. But for all I knew, that rightmost base where my teammate should have taken, just above my dark red teammate here, on the rightmost side of the map, that could have been held by the light blue guy. He could have had a base up there for all I know that he had captured, and he was going to push forward with. But like I said, you can see the advantage of having that early base. That leftmost base that I captured ended up working out really well for me, not only because it gave me extra supplies, but because having those turrets and stuff wiped out a number of his infantry and gave me the opportunity to move in their counter and take out some of his production. So I actually did go with the Angry Pelicans, we'll call them, because that's kind of the nickname similar Pelican design from Halo 2 got. Normally I do like to go with the ODST squad. I guess I just wanted some extra firepower in case they probably altered me with vehicles or something. Actually, I probably just did it because I wanted to see how the Pelicans work, because I don't normally use them. These things are pretty horrible to go up against because you can't really counter them, and they can wipe out an army in an instant. And so by the time you get an army built up again, that thing's ready to go again. But I mean, it isn't in-game power. It's supposed to be powerful. I mean, the ODST squad's just as devastating if you use it correctly. In fact, it can be more so because you can have that for the rest of the match. That takes out a building for a second. Maybe some an army of guys, but it's not going to be there for the rest of the match. You have to wait for that recharge to go. Continuing on, I'm still going to upgrade. I'm still going to build supply bases, because even though I've basically won this match at this point, we've got our Pelicans and stuff. You can see here how devastating those are. He's using them against me. He's wiping out my infantry squads like crazy. Now, at that point, this is what you should do, is you should get out of the area, because they stick in the area, so you can move your infantry out of there. And a lot of people just sit there and they let their units get killed. If you move your units, you can at least save some of them. And that's the big thing, is that at worst, it's a devastating deterrent. But if you don't leave that area, you're going to lose your guys. You're going to lose your army. And you can see the damage that they did, but because I did pull my units out, as soon as that disappears, I'm ready to run back in there and start attacking their other base. So I think at this point that blue teammate does hold that rightmost base. He hasn't attacked from it or anything yet, and I'm not really sure if he's in a position to. I can't really remember. I want to say that he probably got slaughtered pretty quick. I can't remember, though. I got some variety going. I've got my units healing the Cyclops. But there's only 2 places he can be. He can either be at this base to the south, which I don't think he is, because obviously his teammate was held up there at one point and is no longer held up there. Or he can be at that rightmost base. He does have the mini base, though. I don't know if that was his only one. I want to say it's not. Now, I don't know what I was thinking here. I literally ran right past that mini base. I should have stopped and destroyed it. I guess probably my big concern in my head was that if he's got that full-size base, he could counter with it, but that mini base could have been just as much of a threat, and for some reason I passed that up to attack this supply base. I don't know what I was thinking here. It didn't really make any sense. That was a stupid mistake on my part that should have never happened. And you can see I still got units just walking right by it. So you can see my teammate did indeed leave again. You know, he's got a bunch of vultures stacked up ready to go, but he's not doing anything with them. He wasn't talking to me at this point. So now I'm going back to fix that mistake. I'm going back to take out that base, I want to say. Yeah. And, you know, sure enough, look at this army he's got here. All sorts of flamethrowers and stuff. My sniper gets annihilated pretty quickly, unfortunately. There wasn't anything I could do to save him. Once I realized that, I just figured it's easier to get him as far in as I could to see what they have. You know, and those vultures, they look pretty scary, but like I said, if you have infantry or if you have those wolverines, vultures aren't so bad. I mean, they can do a fair amount of damage before they die, but they die pretty quick to infantry and wolverines. So, my idea here is that basically I want to do a two-pronged attack. Since I have my teammate, I have to do this by myself, but I've got, you know, all my veterancy units, and I've got all my new units here. I'm going to bring those new units in from the south. He's cornered in this base. This is all he has left, and he's trying to make his last stand. As you can see, he's not pushing out. He's just sitting there waiting for this attack. Now, that's stupid on his part. Obviously, he doesn't know what's going on around him, so he doesn't know that my teammate's not there. He doesn't know where my army's located at, but he should be out scouting. He should take a Warthog or one of his vultures or a Hornet or something and go out and scout with it. Try to find the armies. He pushes forward a little bit, but he should have done that a lot sooner, you know. Instead, he sat there, let me move my units all around the map. Oh, I guess I just mobbed my guys together. I should have done a two-pronged attack, but I didn't. He's got snipers perched up there. It's a good move, but you know, it's not enough. I'm just going to move my Marines over here to the other side, try to get him out of range of some of these attacks, keep him away from their army for a little bit longer. He does have a single turret up, and unfortunately it's on the side with all of his firepower. So he does have a lot of stuff, and it is geared around going for me. But if you look here, I dropped down my Pelicans, and I made a mistake here. I placed the Pelicans over the base to try and do damage to disable the base. My smart move would have been to take it and put him over his army, you know, right around that tree line or over those flamethrower infantry. But he's doing something really stupid. He's moving his units into it. He's doing the exact opposite of what you should do. You can see the Pelicans do take out vehicles too. They're not super effective against the Vulture, but they are taking out. My teammate has now returned too, so now I've got my own Vultures to assist me with this final push. So I'm just going to try to keep my units away from here, away from his flamethrowers. I've got my snipers now up on that perch, shooting down on his infantry. So you can see we've pretty much devastated all of his stuff immediately. And this base is gone. You know, that's the match right there. Yeah, I really enjoyed the beta while it was out. There's definitely some tweaks needed here and there. You know, some of it's, you know, as far as the damage and balance of the units go and stuff like that. But overall, I really enjoyed it. As far as the graphics, a lot of people are saying the graphics are pretty cartoony. It's not really that different from Halo Wars 1. The colors are a little bit more vibrant than Halo Wars 1, but I mean, graphically speaking, the game looks a little bit more realistic, actually, if anything, than Halo Wars 1, and some of the ideas in it, where these prefab buildings are actually dropped off by Pelicans instead of just popping up out of the ground. But that's the match, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you around for the next video.